What's up, YouTube? It's J Dean, Dean of Music, and I'm back with another video because I've been seeing a lot of discourse about Jada's catalog, about how he does not have a classic, but he's still held as one of the greatest MCs of all times. So I'm here to answer the question, does Jadakiss, aka Montega Jada, aka Jason Phillips, aka a third of the Locks, aka one of my favorite rappers of all time, does Jadakiss have a classic in his discography?
Feeling godly when I walk through the building, I got it all from the confidence escaping my feeling. It's time to ball.
Now let's go back in time a little bit with Jada's discography, or Jada in general as a solo artist. He came in as 1/3 of the Locks, also known as Living Off Experience. They came out with an album in 1998 under Bad Boy Records named Money, Power, Respect. Now that album, I don't really like that album a lot. The production to me wasn't the best, and it sounded like Diddy was trying to bad boy the Locks, and that wasn't their style, so it was a style clash with that. And also, it's just the production wasn't the best, but Jada was rapping on that album very well. Styles P was rapping on that album very well. It was just a style clash. Jada, Styles P, and Sheek Louch did not sound right under the Bad Boy production team. It just didn't fit. Their styles didn't fit. I think the album still went platinum though, if I'm not mistaken. So their first album together, Jadakiss on Bad Boy and Styles P, the Locks and all of them, called Money, Power, Respect. It got some songs on there that I like All for the Love. The solo song by Jadakiss is the best song on the album. So the Locks end up having this dispute with Diddy about contracts and publishing and, you know, the typical Bad Boy stuff, right? And then they're having this whole get the Locks off of Bad Boy campaign, and it eventually works. And they go to Rough Riders, which they were already under management, but now they're signed to them as artists. And then, to me, they drop a classic under We Are the Streets, under Rough Riders and Interscope Records. We Are the Streets, which is a classic. This album got the song Fuck You, Can I Live, Breathe Easy, Felony Niggas, Wild Out, Blood Pressure, Recognize, Y'all Fucked Up Now, You Told Me featuring Eve, Ride or Die Bitch. I don't remember Bring It On, but yeah, but those dope, man. I just named about 15 records on this album that's heat, and that production with Swizz Beats and the grittier style of the Rough Riders. This is an album to listen to for sure. This is a classic, one of my favorite rap group albums of all time right here. So they already started off with, this album didn't sell as much as Money, Power, Respect, but the streets and the rap culture appreciated this album more than Money, Power, Respect, because this is the Locks. This is really who they were. This is the music that they wanted to make. And you could tell when they was on Bad Boy, that was the music that Diddy wanted them to make, which Bad Boy had a sound, Bad Boy had a formula. Biggie was selling a lot of records. Mace sold 4 million records. So it worked. It just didn't fit for the Locks. So now that they got a second under Rough Riders and Interscope, now here come the solo albums. Because remember, Jada did not start off as a solo artist. He started off as a group artist, 1/3 of the Locks. So in come the solo albums. I think Jada hooked up with Steve Stout, and then here comes Jada's first solo album right after We Are the Streets, which is Kiss the Game Goodbye. And to me, this is Jada's best album. I know some people might disagree with that and might say the next album I'm going to talk about is his best album, but to me, this is Jada's best album. And just to make sure that I still felt that way, I went back and listened to all the Jada albums today, just so I can make sure and remember exactly how every album sounded. And my house was, let me tell y'all something, man. My house was a Locks house. My brother loved the Locks. My mom loved Jada. So it was no matter where I went, you heard Jadakiss, you heard Styles P, you heard Sheek Louch. But to me, I might give this a classic. Now, let's define a classic, because a lot of people definitions of classics are different. I saw somewhere it's like an older person on Twitter, older rap person on Twitter, and he said a classic is absolutely no skips, and it has to be at least 20 years old. I was like, hold on now. 20 years old is 20-year-old albums, and then you call it a classic after 20 years is insane to me. To me, a classic is I'm giving it 1 to 2 skips. I don't count skits as part of the skips. I'm talking about just the records, just the songs on there. 1 to 2 skips, and do I still listen to the album the same way I did when it came out after 5 years? That's my determination of a classic. That's a bona fide classic. If like albums like Get Rich or Die Trying, or The Blueprint, or The Chronic, or shit, I could even throw in Nas It Was Written, or Nas Illmatic, or Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt, or or even Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City, J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills. For some people, Drake Take Care. I'm talking about classics. You know what I'm saying? So that's my criteria, classic. If it has 1 to 2 skips, it cannot listen to the album after 5 years. Because some albums sound great when they first come out, and then after 5 years, everything sounds dated on the album. You don't like a lot of songs you liked when it first came out. To me, if it doesn't last that 7 year mark where I can't listen to it anymore the same way, or listen to it straight through anymore, then it's not a classic. It was great for its time, but it's not a classic. And this album to me is this closest album to a classic. Now don't get me wrong, this album starts off with straight heat. The intro, we don't count the intro. It's just him saying, it's Jada. They done fucked up letting me get a solo deal. But when it gets into Jada's Got a Gun, which he just raps about him having a gun for 3 verses and all the type of different guns he has. And then Show Discipline with Nas. I felt like Nas did a great job on the hook. Jada, one thing about Jada is Jada gonna give you a fire ass verse. And that thing about Jada not having a whack verse, I really believe that. I probably could find a verse where I'd be like, I didn't like that verse like that. But I never heard a Jada verse where I was like, that verse was ass. Never. It's always been like, he could have went harder than that. But it's Kiss, man. But anyway, after Show Discipline is Knock Yourself Out, produced by the Neptunes, which is one of my favorite Jadakiss records, just because that beat is fire. And then the simplicity of Pharrell's chorus, oh, you bobbing them wrong, knock yourself out. Oh, you let your head down, knock yourself out. Oh, you ready to move. And it's a story that Jada had wrote to a completely different beat for that song. And then Pharrell came and was like, yo, I got a different beat for that song that you already wrote to. It's a story for that. But Knock Yourself Out to me is fire. Still fire, still holds up to this day. That production by the Neptunes is great. We Gonna Make It, produced by Alchemist. Come on, everybody know that song. Fuck the frail shit. That nigga said we on the island with a plate of salmon. Bad bitch and a plate of salmon. That's one of my favorite records by Jadakiss and Styles P. That back to back. Nobody else do it really better than them. Ghostface and Raekwon do a great job at it too, but Jada's and Styles is just unmatched. And then there's None of Y'all Better, which I think is produced by DJ Premier, if I'm not mistaken. See, this is something you can't do with digital. I could go in here and just look at I can go on the booklet. Yep, it's produced by DJ Premier. I knew it was produced by DJ Premier, but None of Y'all Better. Wow, my shit falling apart. None of Y'all Better with the whole locks on there. Where Styles P said, "May the bullets have legs the way they run in your head." This is that era too. This is that street gangster rap era where it's a lot of gun bars, more gun bars than a fucking URL battle. It's a lot of gun bars, and this album is a lot of, oh, I shoot some shit up, I got guns, I got bitches, I got money. It's that era. This is the early 2000s. It's that era. Then you got a skit. This is that era of rap where it's skits on the album where they have nothing to do. Like, I'll tell you something about Jada. Don't listen to Jadakiss thinking you gonna get some very conscious shit out of him. You're not getting that. You're not getting that. You gonna get some hood shit. some ignorant shit out of Kiss. Nowadays, you might get one song on the album where he'll say some thought-provoking shit, but Kiss is a spitter. Pause. That was crazy. But Stick Yourself skit. It's a skit. I don't count it. But this is where the album shifts in like a bad way. And what I mean by shifting like a bad way, it goes down. These are two of the most unnecessary songs on the album. I'm a Gangster and Nasty Girl. Unnecessary. Very unnecessary. Them two songs right there, very unnecessary on the album. I don't like those two songs at all. And then you got Put Your Hands Up, which is another dope record. Put your hands up. Nah, fuck that. Put your hands down. And then it's another skit called Jake Jerkin. I would have preferred if after none of y'all better, if they would have took the skit, if he would have took the Stick Yourself skit and I'm a Gangster skit and Nasty Girls, I mean not skits, but I'm a Gangster song and Nasty Girl song, took those off and then put Jake Jerkin skit right after None of Y'all Are Better. It didn't Put Your Hands Up. I would have preferred that. Like, them two songs is very unnecessary. And then you got On My Way and then Cruising. I personally like On My Way. I'm on my way to Cali to see my bitch. I'm on the way to Philly to see my bitch. Down in Atlanta to see my bitch. I don't know what you been told. It's one of the few Swizz Beatz hooks I don't like. I mean, I like because I don't really like a lot of Swizz Beatz hooks. But I like that song. I like On My Way. I can understand why people probably don't like it. Cruising is cool. It's cool. It's a cool song. It's not like one of my favorite Kiss songs. It's cool. Kiss is spitting. Got a dope chorus. Nate Dogg. That's another cool song. Like, that's not one of those. I don't think I have that like in my playlist on Spotify. Like, it's cool. And then It's Fucking or What. I don't know why I like that song so much. But I like Fucking or What. And then It's Time I See You is the I think that's the Posse Cut record. Because this was that era where almost every rap album had a Posse Cut on there. I miss that, but niggas don't be rapping like that no more. And then you got What You Ride For. I don't really like that song. That's the Down South song. Jada had this thing on his albums. Well, a lot of people had on his albums. Mace had one on Harlem World where it was like a Down South record, and it was like they're just trying to reach that Down South market, which I'm not mad at, but I personally don't like that song. I think 8-Ball and MJG is on that record. I don't like that song, What You Ride For. So that's like 3 or 4 songs on here that I don't like. And then you got featuring DMX. This is the song where Jada, the last verse, is this was back when somebody dissed you on the album, it was the last verse on one song. Yeah, and they dissed you on. And that's what Jada and DMX did. I don't know who DMX was talking about. I don't know if DMX was talking about Jay-Z or if he was talking about Ja Rule, because DMX was sending a lot of subliminals at Ja Rule at this time. But it's one of my favorite records on the album. Yeah, where Jadakiss says, I had to stop eating red meats because I ate too many Beanie Macs. I'm not one of them niggas, and since you so righteous, don't make me send your ass to Allah quicker. That nigga, man, yo, I probably should do a video on this. But the Jadakiss, I'm gonna just say D-Block. I'm gonna say the Locks versus State Property beef is one of the greatest lyrical battles of all time. I swear to you, them two groups, oh my god. But that's a whole different thing. And then after it's the Feel Me skit. Well, I don't know why it's called Feel Me skit on here. I don't know why it's like that on the track list, but it says Feel Me skit on the CD track list. But the song Feel Me is amazing. And then Keep Your Head Up is, I don't really like that song. And then you got the outro, which is, it's just the outro. But all in all, by my standards and what I just told you, this is not a classic, because it's like 4 or 5 songs on here that I don't really like. But for the most part, it's a great album. Is it technically a classic? No, but it's a great album. Jada's first debut solo album was a great album, but is it a classic? I don't know, man. I wouldn't call it a classic because my standards, I already said 1 or 2 songs minimum of skips. So by that, this is not a classic, and it's not a classic. And I feel like a lot of people give Kiss like the wrong, like Kiss isn't the best songwriter. Kiss is an amazing MC, but he's not a great songwriter. So I feel like a lot of people that look for songwriting wouldn't really like Jadakiss music, but he gonna give you bars. Gonna give you some bars. But on to the next one. I believe this was 2001. I think this was 2001. Let me see. Yeah, 2001. And this is 2004. Kiss of Death. Now, if you would have asked me when I was like 10 years old, I'd have told you this is my favorite Jadakiss album because it has my favorite Jadakiss songs on here. Bring You Down, Time's Up. I'm getting too ahead of myself, but this album is all over the fucking place. It's all over the place. And I'm about to show you something. Back then, when you bought an album and you saw the artwork, everything was color coordinated. It's like, you see that is red, white, and blue. The whole album, even the things, is red, white, and blue, or navy, right? But if you go into the artwork for the album, it's brown. And I always thought that was crazy. Like, why is this brown? Why is this brown? It doesn't really make sense to me why that is brown. But when you really think about it, you be like, okay, maybe this wasn't a focused Kiss. But to me, this is prime Kiss. 04 Kiss? And y'all niggas weren't listening, man. But my standards, 1 to 2 songs skip minimum. I don't count skits and I don't count intros or outros unless the intro is an actual record where they're rapping and the outro is an actual record. But this album started off strong as shit after the third song. It starts off strong as hell. I don't know what you so mad at is the first like actual song. Me personally, I wouldn't have put that as the first actual song. But that song is fire. What you so mad at now? Go on, get yourself a drink. Let's go get down. Roll some, smoke some. Let's blow this pound. Shout out to Kiss, man. One of my favorite. I am going to reiterate that Kiss is in my top 10. By far. And now this song right here, Shine, produced by the Neptunes. I don't know why that song is on the album. It doesn't fit the record. It does not fit the record. I don't know what it was with Jadakiss and Pharrell. A lot of Jadakiss, I ain't gonna say Pharrell because this is Neptunes at the time. Jadakiss and Neptunes, the only like great song they have together is Knock Yourself Out. Everything, Knock Yourself Out and Rockin' with the Best. I think Rockin' with the Best is Last Kiss. I think that was produced by Pharrell if I'm not mistaken, but that's it. Other than that, a lot of misses between them two. I don't know if it was, I don't know, but on this album, Kiss was going for like a lot of like probably like club or dance records, because that at the time that's what was popping, like radio records. But Shine is not a good record, even though it got Snoop Dogg and DJ Quick on it. The beat is decent. It just doesn't fit Kiss's style. It just doesn't fit Kiss. The beat doesn't fit Kiss. The beat doesn't fit the album. So when you put the album on, you hear What You So Mad At, and then it goes into Shine. It sounds like you bought the wrong CD. That's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like it fits the album at all. And I hate that song is so high up on the track list, because if you know anything about sequencing, a lot of people put their best songs, if they're not making a conscious album or I ain't gonna say cohesive, or just a song that tell a story, they're gonna put their best songs at the beginning of the album. But I don't like Shine. But Bring You Down, a classic Jada song. Time's Up, classic Jada song. Why? Everybody knows why. You Make Me Wanna with Mariah Carey. I love that song. And then it goes into Hot Skit, which is Jada singing Jodeci. that's the skit. Jada singing Jodeci, I believe. And then Hot Sauce to Go, horrible. Kiss, I love you. I fuck with you, Kiss. You one of my favorite rappers of all time. Hot Sauce to Go is a horrible song. So right now we already at 2 skips. That was also produced by the Neptunes. Horrible record. And then you got Real Hip Hop. It's okay. Chic is on that record. It's okay. It's all right. I wouldn't skip it if it come on, but I'm not replaying that record. You know what I mean? So it's okay. And then you got Shootouts with Styles P. Fire. Feds and the priests looking at our picture. If rap don't work, we gonna get it like God Bishop. That's the record they going back and forth on. Great record. Shootouts with Styles P. Then you got Still Feel Me, which is the sequel to Feel Me that was on Kiss the Game Goodbye. fire record. That's a debate. What record do you prefer? Do you think is better? Tell me in the comments. Feel Me or Still Feel Me? Let me know in the comments, y'all. Then you got By Your Side, which might be Jadakiss' best song. Yeah, I said it. By Your Side might be Jadakiss' best song. As long as you feed me, I'm down for whatever, homie. Long as you feed me, I pull a big joints out as long as it's TV. Or I can play my part and just breathe easy, right? Come on, man. And then Getting It In. I don't like Getting It In. Featuring Kanye West, the production sounds like Conway. The production sounds like Kanye made this beat. And this is 2004. This is peak Kanye. This is peak Kanye. I ain't gonna say peak, but prime Kanye. I don't like this record. It doesn't sound like it fits the tone of the album. It sounds like that was one of them records like, oh, Kanye's hot. Let me get a Kanye beat. And let's work and let's do something. But I feel like he could have got a different beat from Kanye. Instead of like a fast, sped up type of beat, I feel like Jada could have got a different beat from Kanye. I don't like that record. It doesn't fit Jada's style. It doesn't really. But Jada's so great he can rap on everything. But it just, sometimes his style clashes with other type of producers. And that was a style clash. But he done rapped on great Kanye shit. I just think Jada picked the wrong beat from Kanye. Personally, I don't know if he was going for a radio record on that one, but I didn't like that record. Air It Out, another classic Jadakiss record. Because when I come through, clear it out, play the sideline and observe how a real nigga air it out. And then you got Welcome to D Block featuring Eminem. I like that record as well. This record alone produced a bar from Jada in the 50 Cent beef, where he said, fuck sales, you hear your boss on the D Block hook. Eminem is on the hook of this record. And Eminem said in the record that Jada was in his top 10, right? Or is it? Yeah. It goes Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Jada, Corrupt, Nas, and Didn't. So Jada got to work with Eminem. A lot of people shit on Eminem's production. I think Eminem makes good beats. Not like amazing beats, but like great beats for like songwriting. You know? And then you got Kiss of Death, which is Jada and Styles P on another record. And then you got I'm Going Back. I don't like I'm Going Back. I don't like I'm Going Back. But based off of the criteria I gave, 1 to 2 songs skip minimum. I'm still listening to this record after 22 years. So, but can I play this album straight through? No, because there's records on here that I absolutely don't like, that I am skipping. So based off of the 1 and 2 skip minimum, this is not a classic as well. But it's also another great album. But it isn't a classic as well. And to me, these are Jadakiss' best 2 albums. By far, Jadakiss' best 2 albums. And then Jada took a break. And after, I think he didn't release until 2009 after that, which is The Last Kiss. I don't have that physical disc, but The Last Kiss, which is I don't know. I didn't really like, a lot of these songs sounded good in 2009, but I will say this album for sure did not age well. Pain and Torture is one of my favorite Kiss records. He black on that record. For that to be the intro, that's how you set the tone. Yeah, and then you got Can't Stop Me, which is a good record. Then you got Who's Real. Who's Real was big at the time, but it didn't age well. It's one of them records that didn't age well. Then you got Grind Hard with Mary J. Blige. I don't like that record. I thought that would have been a better record. And then you got Something Else with Jeezy. Sounded good in 2009. Doesn't sound good now. The production is outdated on that record. Then you got One More Step. You got One More Step with Jadakiss and Styles P. Fire record. It doesn't have a lot of streams on Spotify for some reason. Stress Ya with Pharrell. I don't like that record at all. What If with Nas. I feel like 50 Cent made a better song with What If. So I don't like it. I don't like it as much. Then you got Things I've Been Through with Jada explains like different stages of his life and what he was going through during his life. One of Jada's best records. I Tried. Not really. Didn't really like that song. Rockin' with the Best. I don't know why whoever was A&R at the label at this time for this album, why did you not push Rockin' with the Best? That song was fire. I don't know why they didn't push that. But Smoking Gun with Jasmine Sullivan, fire. Cartel Gathering with Ghost and Raekwon, it's okay. Come and Get Me, it's okay. By Your Side, whatever. Letter to Big, fire record. Then you got Something Else remix, and then you got Death Wish, which at the time was fire, but it doesn't really sound that good now. So that's not a classic at all. That's a decent album. Like it's decent. Like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And then I count this as an album, but it was a mixtape called I Love You, a dedication to my fans. I thought it came out as a mixtape. It was on Dat Piff. It's on streaming, but this album right here is fire. it's I ain't gonna say it's fire. It got dope ass records on there like How I Feel and In the Streets and Lay 'Em Down and Toast to That with Fred the Godson. That don't got a lot of streams, man. Wow, but that's a great record. Let's toast to that. Rest in peace, Fred the Godson. He bodied that shit. He was one of the first people to use the Kim Kardashian line. He said, I call your girl Kim, because when I call your girl Kim, because whenever the call dash, she in. That's what he said. Then you got Incredible Remix with Jadakiss, Trey the Truth, Rick Ross, fire record, it bang in the whip too. And then you got Gone Too Long, where it's a concept song. He's speaking in the perspective of being in jail. That doesn't have a lot of streams. That's one of Kiss' best records, man. But that album, it's not an album, but it's a mixtape. It's a good mixtape. When it came out though, I liked a lot of records on that record. I mean on that album, but it's still good. Then you got Top 5 Dead or Alive. I don't like Top 5 Dead or Alive at all. At all. It's a lot of outdated records on this album. Like you can hear the album and tell what year it was made in. Like 2016. I think that's when the album was made. Yeah, 2015, 2016. I don't like the record. I like the first 48 intro. He borrowed up on that. And then I like You Don't Eat with Diddy. Then Jason, I don't like the Swizz Beat chorus on there. But it's a lot of records on here that I just don't like because of production. Yeah, production. It's only like 3 or 4 songs I like on there. I like Ain't Nothing New with Neo and Nipsey, but that's it. It's like 3 songs on there out of 18. I didn't like it when I first heard it, and then I re-listened to it today, like for like the 3rd or 4th time. I still don't like that album. To me, that's Kiss' weakest album, Top 5 Dead or, which is crazy because you would think Top 5 Dead or Alive, that album would be a classic, but I don't like that album. I'm not counting Friday on Elm Street. I'm not counting that. That was a duet album. And then you got Ignatius, which was his last album, which I thought Ignatius had some good records on there. It had Pearly Gates, it had Hunting Season with Pusha T, it had Keep It 100, which I like. And you know what I like a lot about this record? Kiss did good hooks on this record. Kiss isn't known for really making the hook. Kiss is really known for the verses. And I saw that his son said somewhere like one of Kiss' flaws is that he focuses a lot on the verses and not so the songwriting. And that's the only flaw Kiss has. Kiss has stood in the booth with legends. We talking Jay-Z. We talking Biggie Smalls. Like, yeah, we talking legends. And he has held his own against everybody he has had songs with. Everybody. Kiss is one of the greats. So don't get it. Don't think that I'm hating on Kiss. I love Kiss. But I will have to agree by my standards that Kiss does not have a classic album. But Kiss has 2 great albums. In Kiss of Death and Kiss the Game Goodbye. Are there classics by my standards or by anybody else's standards? If somebody would say that Kiss the Game Goodbye is a classic, I'm not going to argue with them. But I wouldn't personally call it a classic because it's like 4 or 5 songs I don't like on there. And such as same as Kiss of Death. It's like 4 or 5 songs I don't like on there, which makes it a great album. And it's not a lot of introspective stuff or deep thought stuff on Kiss's album. So I can see why a lot of people would think like, okay, he doesn't really have a classic, because that's might be what they like. But me personally, I like bars. Sometimes everything doesn't have to be conscious, but by my standards, Kiss does not have a classic album, but he has 2 great albums, and he's one of the greatest MCs of all time. So there it is. I just answered the question. Does Jadakiss, Montega Jada, Jason Phillips, 1/3 of the lots, does he have a classic album? By my terms, no. But he has great albums, and he has great mixtape songs, and all together he has a great discography. Not like a masterpiece of a discography, but he has a great discography. If you want to tap into Jada, please tap into Jada. Please listen to the first 2 albums by Jada and We Are the Streets. Great music. I think We Are the Streets is a classic. I don't skip anything when I listen to We Are the Streets. But does Jada have a classic? No, but he has 2 great albums. So please listen to them albums. Anyway, leave a like and comment if you disagree with me, thinking that either Kiss the Gang Goodbye or Kiss of Death, Last Kiss, Ignatius, Top 5. Is Jadakiss got a classic out of those? Feel free to disagree with me, but it's been J Dean, Dean of Music, and I'll see y'all next video.